All right, everyone, hello again. We are now in our last section for chapter 5, so we're in 3.5, and we are finding the equation of a line, okay? Finding the equation of a line. So we have what is known as the slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. Nice and long one, okay. Slope-intercept form of the equation of a line. So this is a general form. It is y equals mx plus b. Maybe may remember seeing this at some point, maybe in high school, okay. The general form is y equals mx plus b. The y is always going to be there. It's always going to say y equals, okay. M stands for slope, right? We've done slope. M stands for slope. X is your variable. It stays, okay? So the y and the x are staying. B, so this is new. This is your, well, I guess not new, but new with a letter, okay? So this is the y-intercept. So B is known as the y-intercept, okay? So you have y equals slope times your variable of x plus your y-intercept of b, okay? All right. Something they're going to ask you to do is find the equation of a line with slope of 4/3 and y-intercept of 2, okay? What's nice is we have this general form, or general equation of a line, right, or slope-intercept form of y equals mx plus b. All we're doing is substituting values into this equation, that's all. So we know that the y equals stays. M is slope. Slope is 4/3. Excuse me. Plug that in. Variable stays. We have our addition. It stays. Y-intercept is 2. Y-intercept is b. So y equals 4/3 x plus 2. That's it. That's your answer there. Okay? So that's all you have to do for those types of problems. All right? Let's say we're doing the same thing. We're still finding the equation of a line with the slope of, let's do 2/3 and a y-intercept of -5. Okay? Same thing, we're plugging into that y equals mx plus b. Well, the y equals stays. Okay, slope is 2/3, x stays. Now, the only thing that's different from the last problem, it's always addition unless y-intercept is negative. Okay, the y-intercept's negative, so this now becomes -5. If this was a positive 5, this would be +5. This is a negative, so you're subtracting 5. Okay, and that's your answer for this. Okay, now, they're also going to want you to be able to graph this, okay? It's nice, it's quick, it's easy. I'm going to show you how. All right, so we're going to graph this equation of 2/3 x minus 5. All right, so we are graphing y equals 2/3 x minus 5. All right, so we need a graph. We already know some information, right? We know that slope is 2/3. They told us that right from the equation. Slope is 2/3. Remember, this is the same as that rise over run that we just covered, okay? They tell us the y-intercept. So when x is 0, y is -5. You take the sign with it. If that was a +5, this would be 0, 5. This is negative, so this is 0, -5, okay? We have all the information we need to graph this equation of a line. Start with your y-intercept, 0, -5. So I'm going to the right and left 0. I'm going down -5. There's my first point. Now I have slope is 2/3, our rise over run. Well, our rise is +2, so we're going up 2. And our run is a +3, so we're going to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. So now we're going to connect the dots, extend the lines, add the arrows. That's all. So this form is nice, quick, and easy. I think this is one of the easiest ways of graphing that we have. I think it's faster, especially compared to when we had to make a table. Okay, on the test, you get to choose which form of graphing you prefer. Okay, so they're just going to tell you to graph. You get to choose the method. Okay, so kind of pick one you like and stick with it. All right, let's continue. So let's do another. Let's say they want us to find the slope and y-intercept for 3x minus 2y equals -6. Then graph. So on your test, you'll have a problem similar to the last problem we just finished, and you will also have a problem like this, okay? Looking at this equation, this is not set up in slope-intercept form, okay? It's not set up like slope-intercept form. This does not look like y equals mx plus b. Doesn't look like it. We need to change this equation to look like this, so we can go ahead and easily pick out the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to solve for y. Solve for y. So the first thing we're going to do is we want y by itself, so we need to move the 3x over. That's a +3x, so we are subtracting 3x on both sides, okay? Bring down your -2y equals, well, I have -6 minus 3x, okay? Why have this -2 here? All right, I need to get rid of it. -2 times y, right? We know to divide. The difference is when we divide by -2 over here, I'm also dividing both terms on the right-hand side of the equal sign by -2. So you also divide both terms by -2. All right? So now I'm left with a +1y equals. Now we're going to simplify. -6 divided by -2, +3. Well, I have a -3 over a -2. This now becomes a +3/2x. Now, this almost looks like slope-intercept form, right? Slope-intercept form was y equals mx plus b. So you need to rearrange the problem. Not a big deal as long as you keep the signs, right? So if one of them was negative, you would keep the negative with it. So this is now y equals 3/2x plus 3. That now looks like slope-intercept form. Okay, and then we can graph. So our slope is 3/2, so that's our rise over run. Our y-intercept is 0, +3, straight from this. So now we can go ahead and graph. Let's see. All right, we need at least 6 for this one. Everywhere else it doesn't matter. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and graph the y-intercept first. So the y-intercept 0, 3, so we're going to the right and left 0. We're going up 3. There's our first, okay, our first point. Now we have slope, 3/2. Rise over run, so we're rising 3. 1, 2, 3. We're running +2 to the right. 1, 2. So there's your second point on your graph. Connect the dots, extend the line, add the arrows. Okay? So that's nothing too crazy. There is another example of this in the notes if you continue to have questions on this. There is another example. Obviously, if you still have questions after that, please message me, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Okay? All right, let's continue. Couple more different things. We're almost finished with this section. Okay? All right, so the next thing they're going to ask you to do is to find the equation of the line with slope of 3 that contains the point 1, -2. Okay? Contains the point 1, -2. Now, with what we're given right now, we don't know the y-intercept, right? We know the slope, we don't know the y-intercept. So that is something we're going to have to find out, right? We're going to have to use the point-slope form of the equation of a line, okay? Point-slope form of equation of a line to find out our y-intercept and our slope, okay? All right. So here, point slope, so this is called point slope form, okay? Point slope form. This looks like y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. So this is another equation, okay? Right? What's great is you don't have to memorize any of this stuff. You're going to have your stuff, your notes right in front of you. But this is something, right, that you could possibly use. So we have information that we're going to be able to substitute in. We have slope. They gave us slope. Slope's 3. Not a big deal. Now, they gave us a point of 1, -2. So this is going to become your x sub 1, y sub 1 that you're going to substitute back in, okay? The other y, the other x are going to stay. But this is your y sub, or your x sub 1, y sub 1. All right, they're going to substitute in. So now we have y minus 2. That should be a -2. No. I'm sorry, guys. I wrote the problem wrong. My bad. This needs to be -1, 2. Flip the signs. My bad, guys. -1, 2. So this is a +2 we're substituting in. Our slope we can substitute in for m is 3. Now I have our x minus our -1. Okay? Make sure you put this in parentheses as this is negative and you still have your subtraction as part of the formula. Okay, this part doesn't change. Now we're going to start to simplify. So I have y minus 2 equals 3 times x. 2 negatives become +1. Now, we've dealt with this before, right? To simplify, we would distribute the 3. So this is now y minus 2 equals 3x plus 3. I still want y by itself. So I need to get rid of this -2 by adding 2 to both sides. So the 2's cancel. So y equals 3x plus 5. All right. So now we have this set up as an equation of the line. All right. This is now set up like y equals mx plus b. So y equals 3x plus 5. So you'll need to know that as well. Okay. We have not done a problem like this yet. So we are going to find the equation of the line that passes through 2, 5 and 6, -3. okay? Now, we want that equation of a line that looks like y equals mx plus b. Right now, I'm given 2 points. I don't have a slope. I'm not given an x-intercept, or y-intercept, I'm sorry, I keep calling it x. Y-intercept. I'm not given a y-intercept, and I'm not given a slope. So we have to find this stuff. So the first thing we're going to do, we're given 2 points. We've learned this previously in another section. We're going to find slope first, okay? So I would go ahead and label these as x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2, and go ahead and use our formula for slope. So our m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Go ahead and substitute those in. So this is now m equals y sub 2 is negative 3 minus y sub 1 is 5 over x sub 2 is 6 minus x sub 1 is 2. That's a lot to say. All right. So from here we can go ahead and simplify. So I have negative 3 minus 5, so I would add the negative so that I would end up with negative 8, and 6 minus 2 is 4. So negative 8 minus 4 is negative 2. So right now, I have y equals negative 2x, right? So far I have y equals negative 2x. I've got the slope. I need to find the y-intercept now. Need to find the y-intercept. So we're going to use that equation that we used in the last problem, right? That point slope formula. So this y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. We're going to use that formula. Now, last time they gave us 1 point. This time I have 2 points. So you're going to pick a point. Pick 1 point. Doesn't matter. But you have to use one whole point. Don't use one part of this and one part of this. It's got to be one whole point, okay? I always suggest using ones that have the smallest numbers, or maybe that doesn't have a negative sign, okay? So you're not dealing with that. So I would choose 2, 5 myself. So I'm going to use 2, 5 and substitute that in. So I now have y minus y sub 1 is 5 equals, well, we know slope, we just calculated it. It's negative 2 times x minus, well, x sub 1 here is 2. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and solve. All right, so from here, I still have our y minus 5 equals. I would go ahead and distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. Now I need to get y by itself, so I'm going to go ahead and add 5 to both sides. So negative 5 and 5 cancels. I bring down my y equals. We still have our negative 2x. Now I have 4 plus 5, positive 9. There's our equation of our line. Now it's set up just like y equals mx plus b. We have our negative 2x plus 9. Okay, so it's set up exactly as we need. Okay. All right, one more thing to show you, and we are done with 3.5. So the last couple things in this section, you're not tested on anymore, so I'm not going to go ahead and cover it. So it's dealing with parallel lines and perpendicular lines in a graph. So the last 2 problems in 3.5, I'm taking off. So problems 60 and 62, you do not have to do for homework now on section 3.5. So problems 60 and 62 do not do on 3.5. I will go on Canvas and fix that as well. All right. Okay, so one more thing left to do. I know, guys, I'm sorry these videos are not as engaging as when we are in the classroom. So I apologize, but we got to do what we got to do for now. Okay, so they're going to tell you to find the slope-intercept form of the equation of the graph. So now they're going to give you a graph and you're going to be able to tell me what the equation of the line is. Okay, and it's not that bad, I promise. So we're going to have a graph. Sorry, just give me a second. I gotta make the graph. And my graph isn't very straight because it's not a true graph. Now the ones that you'll have on the test and the homework will be very clear. And like I said too, you'll have graph paper. Okay, so just hang in there with me. All right, so we need to find the slope-intercept form of the equation of the graph. So we need to be able to substitute into our y equals mx plus b. So your first step is you want to find the y-intercept. So remember, this is when x is 0, we have a y. So remember, if x is 0, that means we're going right and left nowhere. That means we're only going up and down. So where is the graph hitting this axis? So right and left 0, I'm going up. What's hitting? Right here. So I know it might be difficult to see, but this is actually up 2, okay? So this is a 2. So we found our y-intercept is 0, 2, okay? Then we are going to calculate our slope, right? Our rise over run. So to do that, we want to find where it hits the other point on the graph through the axis, okay? So it hits the axis here on where there would be a 0. So this is going to be our other point that we're going to go ahead and look at, all right, where it hits. So to get to this point, we need to do our rise over run. Well, to get there, if I started here at our y-intercept, I'm going down 2, right? I just went down 2. Down 2, and I'm going to the right. I know it might be hard to see, but this is 3. And I'm going to the right 3, okay? So our slope is negative 2/3. So now that we found the y-intercept and the slope, we can substitute it into our y equals mx plus b. So y equals m is negative 2/3. We keep our x plus our y-intercept is 2. So that is our answer there. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2. Okay? All right, so that's all we have for 3.5. Like I said, if you do have any further questions, concerns, please let me know. Send me a message. We can try and set something up, video conferencing, whatever we got to do. All right, to get you through. You need me? Let me know. All right, see you guys.